Alrighty, another one of my personal pieces of art from my collection going off to eBay land. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm trying to do what I have to do to take care of the family and plan for my future. These things right here can always be obtained again, and I can always modify them and make them even better the next time. Alright, I'm just going to let this completely out on the table exactly what's going on with this amplifier, okay? I needed 4 used Toshiba 2879s for a project. I basically had a fellow that wanted a project done, and he wanted to save a little bit of money. He didn't want to buy, he didn't want to spend $65 or $75 a piece for 4 Toshibas. He wanted to, you know, pay about half that price, or a little bit cheaper, for some used but good ones. And you know, it just worked out well, because this is one of 2 of my personal 667s. I'm about to only own one, and I usually own at least 3 or 4 at a time. But I'll get built back up. But anyway, this is my personal one that I've had for a while. This right here is a one that I would run in the mobile, because I did not have to worry about it overheating. I did not have to worry about nothing. I could just stay on the hammer with this thing, talk on it as I wish. It's got 2 very powerful fans. Metal casing fans. Really need to have some fan grills up under there. While this is on, nobody stick your hands up under here. These fans catch your fingers. It wouldn't be good at all. Those are very powerful fans. They are spinning so fast on that heat sink, man. Any kind of heat that gets dissipated at that heat sink is going to get cooled off very quickly. And there's a variable operated fan right here on the top. Alright, and this fan can be turned on with the amp off. You can kind of leave that on if you just want to kind of cool down the sandbar resistors inside. Here's tiny little portholes. Okay, and I actually did not do this mod. There's another porthole over there. Okay, I did not do this mod right here. This was actually on the amp when I originally bought it. It's a pretty little neat mod. I would have made the portholes a little, what I would have done is I would have put some portholes in the back here on the very top. Because you already got one hole right here with the key, and you can feel that the air is coming out of there very well. And it's also coming out around the edges here, since I don't have this bolted down right now. But the air does have an exit, so that is good with that. That right there will help keep them sandbars cool in there, because they get blistering hot. Help keep the top of the transistors cool, and keep the metal caps and the silver dip micas cool. So you got cooling on the top, and you got cooling on the bottom. A lot of people will cool from the top and leave it be, but the heatsink ain't being cooled. And the main thing you want to keep cool is this heatsink. That's the main thing you want to keep cool. And I have a friend of mine, Mr. 409 Mud Duck. He has been running a 667 for years. I'm talking about 6-7 years, with the same exact 2 fans. That's where I got the idea from, actually. Same exact 2 fans. And I mean, he can just hammer on as much as he wants to. And he has hardly ever been able to feel that heatsink get hot, because they're just beating on the heatsink so hard, so constantly. It is just pushing that heat off that heatsink. And it is loud. It is loud. That's another thing I was going to show you when I take this lid off. Something that I was meaning to do. I never got around to it. You see this little space right here? Or right here. This would be a good spot right here, since there's already a hole with that focus. Put a little switch right here, or right here, don't matter, to manually turn these fans on and off if you don't wish to run them on. Like, for example, I want to hook up that regulated supply over there and show y'all what it's doing on some adequate amperage. But these fans are not protected, and they're too dang powerful. They pull too much amperage to just put a single voltage regulator on them things. You know, I can't just turn it on. I don't want to fry the fans. So I'm probably going to have to do it like a quick key, you know what I'm saying, to drop the voltage on there. But anyway, let's turn this off here. Alright, back to what I was saying. So what I did, and here are the transistors right here. I didn't want to put these in the pictures on the eBay because I guarantee you somebody's going to get the wrong idea and think that these are included. These are not included. I'm just showing you that what I'm saying is so. There's a lot of people out there just doing people wrong and trying to, you know, pull fast ones on people. And a lot of you know, man, I just let it all hang out and I'm just as truthful as I can be. These are the transistors I took out, and these are the transistors I'm going to be using in the project for that fella. I don't even know if he wants his name. I'll just say it, fella. Okay, so those are the transistors I took out. So instead of just trying to sell this amp with only the driver transistor in it with no transistors in it, I thought it would be worth a try, which did not succeed well, but it would be worth a try. I had 4 brand spanking new. I got the picture in the eBay. You can see I took a picture before I put them in here. Brand new Motorola MRF454 transistors. Okay. Now, I have put 454s in Texas Star 400s before. And I have put them in at least 3 400s, and it's just worked out that way. And the reasons why I've done it a few times is one was a repair, didn't have no transistors. The other, I was needing to take the 2290s out to use them, and I replaced them with that. And they have worked absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. Great reflect, great power, wonderful. Now, I never put any in a 500 though. And a 500 has got different wraps, different tune, So, the reason I tried this is because I've already done 3 400s that way and it turned out great. But I never tried a 500 or a 667. Okay, it did not turn out too well. So, this amplifier is not doing the power it should be doing. The most I can get out of this thing is 400 watts, and I've got to put it on the power supply over here on the proper amount of amperage, because this switcher is supposed to be a 70 amp switcher, but I've noticed that it don't do too well with 5 pills. It's better to put it on the 100 amp over there. But so I'm getting an average of 300 watts to 400 watts PEP out of this, and that is low. So either you can just run the amp as it is and just run it as a lower wattage 667, and you can run this cotton picker all you want. This thing ain't gonna get hot with these fans on. Or you can take the 454s out of it. They're brand new. You can put them in another amplifier that is made for 454s. You can do a build with them, and you can slap you 4 Toshibas in this thing, and this thing will be back to normal. This amplifier works dang good with these Toshibas in. I wish I would have done the video before. I was just doing so fast I didn't even think about that. If I had a video before showing these in it, it would make it more credible. But I don't, and I'm sorry about that. But before, this amp was right. This is why this was my personal amp, because this worked very well out of some other 667s that had came through here. So I kept this one. This thing worked very well, man. I could get this thing up to around 850 watts PEP, no problem, with the green button in. So there's your options there, okay? All right. Another mod I did just to kind of help things out a little bit, to smoothen the pot, I went ahead and did a neat little blue LED mod, and I've done something a little different with this one that I've been thinking about doing. Alright, let's take this off. I do got a quick disconnect on the top lid. Give me 1 second. There's the top there. Put this down here. Alright, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs at the top there. And I dremeled a little bit on the back of this to kind of thin up the plastic so they could shine through there a little easier. And the other thing I did, which is actually the main thing that's lighting it up, I drilled a hole in the meter down here where you see this electrical tape on. And I have one single 3mm LED that's sticking down in the hole, just perfect to not touch the mechanism that moves. Oh wow, it's working very great. That thing is light. That's all I need. From here on out, all I need is one LED. And I figured out how to do it. I got a 330 ohm right here. These LEDs are in series. They pretty much can be ran without a resistor. I could have went a little bit lower on this resistor. They're not as bright as they really could be. But like I said, there's no need for it. You can look at the pictures and see. So that just kind of gives a little bit extra light on the top end of the meter. Okay, and there's the brand new 454s thrown in there. Okay, and like I said, now I know that 454s do not match well with 500s. And the reason I'm saying 500, if you take this driver out, that's all this is a 500. A 667 is a Texas Star 500 with a driver circuit. Okay, the original 2290 is still in there. You'll notice I don't really like to mess with those circuits too much. Dead bug skeleton type right there, driver section. So, and I understand the reason why. The wraps are completely different. The 400 is a higher wrap type, and Motorola's do like high wraps. If you look at Motorola amps, they're usually 4 wraps and up. Okay, and as you see, this right here is a 2 and 3 ratio. 3 wrap output, 2 wrap input. So that's why they work well with the 400s, and now I know they do not work well with the 500s. But hey, you don't know till you try. And at least I got 4 brand new 454s in here. 454s in here for somebody to use. Use your head. You know how much they cost. Okay. The only times these things have been keyed up is today. And here in a second when I show you. All right. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. Let you see it working. This has been fans right there, boy. This thing's about to lift up off the table, boy. Got these legs on here, of course, for the fans. I also put some feet up under here because before it's just kind of rocking back and forth. Let's see if I can lift that up. So I got some feet on here now, some rubber feet. And this is also something you could do. As you see, there's a hole right here. You could actually mount this to some wood or something in your car and put 2 bolts in there so this thing won't move, so nobody can just come here and rip it out of the car easily and make it stationary. Okay, I'm also giving these 2, well, I'm giving this yellow Anderson, and I'm giving this one right here as well. This is just the last 2. I found the 2 thickest wires I could to put in here. You could just strip this right here and just add some wire to it, and of course add to this, and you'll have your quick disconnect. Or you can get you 2 new fingers from eBay and use that there. It's a genuine Anderson. Okay. Another thing I'm throwing in here to sweeten up the pot, since I feel so bad about the wattage not being where it should be. Got you some good wire here, man. Or woman, whoever gets this. Got some good 8-gauge wire that's more than enough to run in the vehicle. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. Run 1,000 watts slow. Okay, this is RMS. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it's right there about 200 watts RMS, pretty much running like a strong 2-pill. Here's the meter. It's beautiful, ain't it? That is beautiful. Spider over here. Good. Good. Really nice. Good. Alright, let's go over to PEP. Oh, all right, right there, about 300 watts. All right, give me 1 second. Well, you know what? There really ain't no need in it. I mean, I will do it if I hook up to the 100 amp supply over here. Like I said, the float voltage is too high just to run these fans and let this amp idle like I was just doing just then, or it'll fry these fans. But if I turn it on the supply and do a quick key, basically it's putting this on better amperage, a tad bit more voltage, and you see a little bit more output on it. Well, I'll hook it up and do it real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Do do do. Alright, I'm just going to turn it on and do a real quick key. I don't know how I'm going to do this actually. I ain't wanting to blow these fans. Alright, we're going to do it real quick. Go! Alright, whoo! I don't know if you can see that just then, but it was doing about 500 watts. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. That was on the high tap. I didn't even get to look to see what the voltage was dropping to. I did not want to blow these fans, man, because these are not cheap. These fans cost like 24 bucks a piece. Okay, so it was doing 500 watts just then. So what that shows me is it appears that due to the output winding differences, the amplifier will get up there and do about 500 watts as I just demonstrated. But like I said, if I had the time, I could get in here and rewind this, basically convert this over to a 400, or I guess you'd call a 477. Texas Star 477, one driving for 2290. But basically just change the wraps and everything, and probably the tune, and do all that work to get these 454s working right. But I don't have the time. You put this amp on the proper amount of amperage. Okay, like I said, that's a 100 amp supply. Earlier I did it on the medium tap where it floated to 18 volts and it was dropping down to about 14.5. And it was doing 400 watts, 100 watts more than what I just showed you. Okay. Just then, I went over to the high tap. It was floating at 20 volts. I don't know what it dropped down to. I didn't have time to look. I just wanted to get in there and get out quick so I wouldn't blow these fans. I would probably take a wild guess. It was probably dropping to about 15.5 volts, maybe a little bit more. And it was doing 500. That probably would be RMS and around 300 watts, and actually that's what a lot of Texas Stars do normally. A lot of your Texas Stars will do about 500 watts. It's just the way they're designed and tuned. Some of them would get up and go like this one right here. I could get this one to do 800 watts no problem. I'll go ahead and tell you, the way this one is designed, it's really never a good idea to run this one high. You will be swinging backwards. The main reason why that is there's not an extra padding over here to ground. If you ever notice Texas Stars be extra padding right here over the ground, basically what that does is when you have it in high, it still has a 75 ohm pad. But now if you take this out of high, it has nothing but the variable. Okay, no padding at all, and it's just too much. the way it's all set up. It's just too much for it, and you will swing backwards. So this particular amp works best with the green button in. Okay. All right, well, there you go. And also on sideband, that's another thing. On sideband, you can test it out when you get it. It might actually work better on sideband with the 454s, and you might get a little bit more out of it without having to put it on a higher amperage power supply or something. It's I don't know. That switcher's kind of weird. Like I said, 1x4s don't work well with it, even though it's a 70 amp and it should. I don't really know. I don't know if it's got some type of amperage control in it or what. But anyway, I've let this video go on way too longer than I should. I'm sorry, y'all. I just wanted to make sure to tell everything so nobody would have to ask any questions or anything. Actually, I'm going to wait and put that on there in a minute so I can screw that on. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoy. Got a brand new set of 454s. The most we could get out of it is 500 watts. 400 on the medium tap over here. 300 off about 14 volts. Over there is where I got that set to over there. So there you go. God bless 73s. I hate to see this one go, but like I said, man, there's a lot of these Texas stars out there. So I hope it makes somebody happy. So you got a couple opportunities with this. You take the 454s out, put it in another amp, slap your 4 2879s in, or you can just run it like it is, and this puppy will stay cool, man. Always remember, 300 watts and 500 watts, there's no noticeable difference on the other end. But we all like our equipment working as efficient as it can. There ain't nothing wrong with that either. So we'll see you. Gatekeeper Northeast George, I'm gone. Bye-bye.